All right, babes. Top 10 reasons people are bad at Dark Souls, starring someone who just so happens to have a PhD on that very subject.
Dude, I fucking hate this game.
That's right, it's my babe wife. See, we've been streaming her first playthrough of the game. And although she has improved a ton, and she has, watching her learn has helped me narrow down the top 10 reasons why people can be absolutely terrible at this video game, which is, believe me, understandable.
What the fuck?
So we're going to start from the least impactful and go up to the most impactful. Number 10, they ignore environmental storytelling. You don't pay attention to your environment in Dark Souls for world immersion. You're not like, oh, look, it's so pretty. It's so nice. No, you pay attention to save your life. Look at this room in Sen's Fortress. First off, you got a straight chain on a treasure chest where all the other chains in the game are gay. All the other chains in the game are kind of suspicious. How's juice?
Gotcha, bitch.
What the fuck?
Then you have an elevator after that that's covered in blood. Granted, some of these are more noticeable than others, but at the end of the death, you're always like, damn, I did miss that. Number 9, fat rolling. There's this noob tendency to put on like all the armor that you find in the entire game and expect the enemies to just be like, oh my god! But in reality, you just become this useless blob rolling around and just absorbing damage, like a Reddit mod at Thanksgiving with their family, just taking the abuse.
Why don't you do something with your life for once? You're a loser, you know that?
It also doesn't help that some of the starting classes in this game start you out fat rolling, like that one big Asian kid. That poor kid, he spawned into the game like that. But beyond that, the game doesn't even describe how the armor weight system works. Even when you're at a level of rolling that will make you fat roll, it doesn't tell you. It's ridiculous. And even when you know about the system, you have to do this complicated lab work math test where you take off progressively smaller pieces of clothing to try to test it again to see if you can actually medium or fast roll. And then if you get like endurance up or you get like a ring, like Havel's ring or something, it's back to the lab again, baby, because you got to start taking off armor again, seeing if you can put more armor on. Can I finally put on those cute little balder pants that I found? It's ridiculous. And it's so ambiguous and hard to tell. So I do not blame new players for being bad at this game because it is so easy to be terrible at Dark Souls. Number 8, good area, bad time. The game is often praised for letting the player decide where they want to go, but it runs a massive risk that someone with I don't know, the master key is going to end up in Blighttown in the beginning of the game, or maybe the first enemy they fight is a Drake once they get there. Because that happened to me, guys. Seriously. I spent 3 hours killing Quelaag before I even knew what the undead burg was. I even went up the entire other side of Blighttown, realized it was a dead end, came back, did some more exploring, and I wandered around Ash Lake and Demon Ruins before I realized that I had to go back up. I was fighting Hydras before I was fighting the Taurus Demon. I had no idea. So eventually I go up there and I finally figured it out, but it was horrible my first playthrough. So luckily my wife had me and chat to guide her. But if you're just freebirding it on your first try and you take a wrong turn, you are so fucked. Number 7, they don't use backstabs. Havel, one of the toughest human enemies in the entire game, equipped with a literal dragon's tooth as a weapon and armor carved from a massive rock. This juggernaut is nearly invincible. Oh, I can just backstab him 10 times. Oh, good. My wife spent like an hour trying to kill Havel like this. She refused to go behind, no matter how many times I asked. She said she was scared. She'd never done it before. And it was disgusting how much hair I had back there. Oh, we had more than enough lube. Tons. Yeah. Oh, I'll try that. I'll tell her. All right, you gotta go. Okay. Thanks. I love you, Dad. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so eventually she did beat Havel. Number 6, just run past the enemies. I remember the first time my wife killed all the enemies in the Undead Burg and finally made it to the Taurus Demon and then got absolutely slaughtered. She wasn't upset that she lost to the boss. She was upset that she had to, quote, do it all again. No, you don't. Once you know the boss run back path in this game, you can treat the enemies like the treadmill you bought to walk on while you watch TV. The first time was great, but I got over it after the first time, and now it's just in the way. Number 5, they fight enemies all at once. The enemies in Dark Souls are the definition of being unbothered. You can just bait them away from their friends and family and murder them right in front of them, but as long as you're not within a certain trigger area of them, they got no problem with it. It'd be like if my brother got stabbed like right in front of me, but the attacker was like 20 feet away. I mean, what does their beef have to do with me? I'm over here, they're over there, whatever. But if he comes within 10 feet of me, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'll fight to save my life and my brother's life. But when they're over there, I'm like, what? Come on, what am I going to police the world? No, I'm not going over there. That's exactly what it's like. Number 4, poor stamina management. Just like in bed, gentlemen. If you got a small, sad, broken sword, you can make up a lot of difference with some good stamina. Dark Souls stamina management system was really its own thing for when it came out. Obviously, there's Demon Souls, but Dark Souls was huge. So when I had to watch my wife repeatedly spam roll,
Where's that green
Don't roll so much.
or start a fight when she already had no stamina to begin with, or watch her stamina slowly trickle back as she refuses to stop holding shield. Like each drop of it is creating some kind of digital Chinese water torture burrowing deeper into my brain. It doesn't bother me because I know how hard it is to learn a completely new game. Number 3, they let it get to them. Hey there, do you struggle with anger management?
Got it.
I'm not doing that shit again. I died.
It's how you get better.
No.
It's okay. You're not a bad person. You're just a person who's bad at Dark Souls. Try looking at each death as an opportunity to grow.
Dude, I fucking hate this game.
I can already tell that it's working. Look at that big smile. See? It wasn't so hard.
I'm
Very
getting pissed
soon.
off at this point.
I'm proud that you found peace with the game and really found peace with yourself.
Shut the fuck up.
Number 2, they don't understand the upgrading system. Guys, I work in insurance for my daily job, so I know when something is super confusing, convoluted, unnecessarily cryptic, and you can screw yourself over in a second without even knowing that you did it. And I would rather explain the insurance stuff than try to explain the upgrade system in this freaking game. I mean, look at this. I have beat this game 6 times at this point, and I don't know or even care what half this shit is talking about. And that's just the levels. Then you get to the weapon stats. Oh, and by the way, there's more info about how the grass crest shield gives you faster stamina recharge, blah, 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 within the item description. Guys, I didn't even know until like my 4th playthrough that armor and random shit just does things and you have to just read an item description to figure that out. It's so obscure. Luckily, the upgrade system is simple. Nope, no, it's not. Boss souls can create boss weapons, but only after they've been ascended and they're part of a compatible weapon class with the boss soul that you've been carrying around for the last, 4 hours of the game. Like, it's ridiculous. I have no idea why they made it that way. And I know once you know the system, it can be enjoyable, but so much of the fun of customization in this game is locked behind a paywall of how much time you spend on Reddit or on Dark Souls Wiki. Like, nobody understands how to do this stuff unless you've just committed part of your life. And a lot of people that are new to the game, they'll play with the exact same sword the entire game because it's overwhelming enough to learn how to get this thing to plus 15, let alone figuring out how to make a boss weapon, ascend to some random bullshit. Elden Ring still commits some of the same sins, and just From Software, let us play with the toys, okay? Let us play with all the toys without grinding for materials and grinding through obscure Reddit posts. Number 1, they don't understand roll invincibility. Honestly, this is actually the most broken thing in the entire game, but it's so counterintuitive. Like, you can just roll through any enemy's attack, and as long as you're rolling, it does no difference. Doesn't do any damage at all. Seriously, think about it. Let's say that I saw you on the street and you were unironically wearing a fedora, and naturally and justifiably, I would attempt to stab you. Now, while you're dodging away, I say, hey, if you just roll through the sword, it won't do anything. No, seriously. Yeet your soft body through this hard, pointy sword, and as long as you're rolling while I'm stabbing you, it won't do a thing, I promise. This is the thing that somebody that wants to kill you would say, but that's actually how the game works. That's like the core of the game. Once you understand that you can just roll through everything, you can literally just Fortnite dance on the corpse of every boss in the game. You can literally just roll through the Taurus Demon's great axe. Small bridge or not, his ass is grass. And it's It's crazy. And it's once you figure out rolling, the game is over. Basically, you can beat Elden Ring, Bloodborne, any From Software game. Once you hack that game and figure out that you can roll like a god, then it's the end. You basically just won. Except for Sekiro. Sekiro's weird and totally different. Don't try to play Sekiro like Dark Souls. And that's all 10, babes. Let me know if you agree in the comments or what else deserves to be mentioned. Maybe some of the mistakes you made on your first playthrough. Also, my wife and I stream every Sunday and more. So remember to like and subscribe so that you can see more of our good shit that we're putting out. But thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good one, babes.